Hello guys, Elysiia here. Have you ever heard of the phrase, better nerf Elysiia? Well, of course you have. It's probably the biggest joke in the league. Right after Victor's passive, that is. Congratulations! You get to buy one less item than everyone else! Jokes aside, we all know, or have felt, that Riot sometimes randomly takes out the old Nerf bat, pick a random champion, and send it right into oblivion. But have you ever wondered which champion has been nerfed the most? Well, you're about to find out, because here's my top 5 list of the most nerfed champions in League of Legends. This list was determined by the amount of patches focused on nerfing these champions. Reworks on the champion doesn't count, even if many people consider it to be a nerf. Number 5. Kayle. Kayle hasn't been a very popular pick in a while, at least not compared to how often she was picked up in Season 1 and before that, when she was a lot stronger than she is now, but I wouldn't go as far as saying that she was overpowered. Therefore I'm not really sure if she deserves all these nerfs that she has received. She was picked fairly often recently as mid-champion, though. Kayle's first skill, Reckoning, has had its slow duration reduced and damage amplification removed. Her second skill, Divine Blessing, has had its duration reduced, movement speed bonus reduced, AP ratio lowered, and cooldown increased. Kayle's third ability, Righteous Fury, has had its AP ratio reduced, as well as some base damage reduction. Kayle's ultimate ability, Intervention, has had its duration removed at a maximum level from 6 seconds down to 3. It now only gets half a second longer with each rank. Her passive Holy Fervor has been reworked plenty of times, but this current version has only been buffed. Number 4. Who could possibly be better to come after Kayle than her sister, Morgana? Morgana was such a popular pick in Season 2. In fact, you pretty much knew you were gonna face her if you didn't ban her. She was the mid carry in Season 2. With fairly high damage, good CC, and her incredibly strong sustain. And you almost didn't have to make an effort farming. You just had to put your Tormented Soil there on the ground, sit back there at the tower, getting health from your passive, and gold from the minions. She still gets picked from time to time, but will probably never gain back the attention she had back in Season 2. Morgana was clearly overpowered at her state that she was in back then. Morgana's first ability, Dark Binding, has had its hitbox, snare duration, and range reduced, and a large portion of the base damage lowered. Her second ability, Tormented Soil, has had a slight damage reduction and its duration lowered. Her next ability, Black Shield, has had its duration, AP ratio, and shield amount reduced, as well as cooldown increased. Morgana's ultimate ability, Soul Shackles, has had its cooldown increased, AP ratio reduced, and base damage lowered a lot. Morgana's passive, Soul Siphon, which gives her Spell Vamp, has had its Spell Vamp reduced. Number 3. Shen. This may come as a surprise to some of you, since Shen is still a very strong pick, and popular to this day, but they have nerfed large portion of Shen's tankiness in earlier patches, and then added more damage to his abilities in later patches, instead of balancing him in the same patch. Shen's first skill, Vorpal Blade, has had its base damage reduced, heal lowered, removed AP scaling of the healing, and lowered the health scaling of the healing part of the spell. Shen's second ability, Feint, has had a slight energy cost increased and shield value lowered. Shen's third ability, Shadow Dash, has had its energy cost increased slightly and had its cooldown increased. Shen's ultimate, Stand United, has had its shield lowered, duration reduced, cooldown increased, and the shield has been removed from Shen. Key Strike, Shen's passive ability, has had its cooldown increased, damage reduced, and cooldown reduction per attack reduced. Number 2. Soraka. This unicorn babe has been around for a while now, and in Season 1 and pre-Season 1, when you thought about the support role, you thought about Soraka. With her everlasting sustain abilities, she and her lane partner could dominate anyone they were up against. It wasn't until they removed her ability to give herself mana that Soraka really dropped in popularity and gave room for other supports to shine. Soraka's first ability, Starcall, has had its cooldown increased, mana cost increased, and smaller nerfs on the damage and the resistance removal part of the spell, which then later has been added back again. Soraka's healing ability, Astral Blessing, has had its cooldown increased, AP ratio reduced, magic resistance buff removed, cooldown increased, base heal reduced, armor bonus reduced a lot, and load buff duration. Soraka's third ability, Infuse, has had its cooldown increased, and she is no longer able to give herself any mana. Soraka's ultimate ability, Wish, has had its mana cost increased, AP ratio reduced, base heal reduced, and cooldown increased a lot. Soraka's magic resistance aura, her passive called Consecration, has had its magic resistance reduced. And finally, the champion that has been nerfed the most amount of times in League of Legends history, Alistar. I'll tell you the background story to his popularity and the reason he was nerfed after I've gone through his specific nerfs on each spell. Alistar's first ability, Pulverize, has had stun duration and base damage reduced. It has also received a massive AP ratio nerf. Alistar's second ability, Headbutt, has had its stun duration and base damage reduced. It also has received a larger AP ratio nerf. Alistar's third ability, Triumphant Roar, has had its healing reduced and cooldown increased. Alistar's ultimate ability, Unbreakable Will, has had its duration reduced, bonus damage reduced, and damage reduction reduced.
Now I'm angry.
Alistar's current passive, Trample, has had its damage reduced. Well, I guess you can milk those after all. Milk them of every power he's got. The reason he was picked up as much as he was in Season 1 was because of this guy, Shen. Before he created Dragobonge, he actually played in Fnatic and was one of the reasons why they won the Season 1 championship. He and XPK was Fnatic's 2 AP carries in their dual AP carry setup, taking turns who went mid and who went top. His success in the professional scene in League of Legends gave Alistar the attention both from the League of Legends community and Riot, who then realized that they really needed to nerf his offensive abilities. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you liked the video. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, leave a comment below and let me know how I can improve myself and my content. If you really enjoyed the video, click the Sweethearts Gaming logo to subscribe to my channel and see what stuff I might produce in the future. You can also click these 3 video links to watch some of my old stuff. That's all from me in this video, goodbye, and I'll see you in game.